One night, a man named Hoffman is waiting to meet one of the most powerful men in the industry, McVie, the CEO of a massive pharmaceutical company. Hoffman used to work there, and when he left, he didn't leave empty-handed. He's carrying documents, sensitive ones, the kind that could bring McVie's entire empire crashing down in front of the public. After getting fired, Hoffman's life turned into a nightmare. Thugs showing up at his door, constant pressure and harassment, all of it sent by the company because they desperately want those documents back. So a deal was finally arranged, a peaceful agreement brokered through a neutral third party. The condition was simple. Hoffman hands over the original documents, and everything goes quiet. The meeting ends, and both men walk away. But someone else had been watching the entire time. A man named Ash had been following Hoffman from a distance, not to cause trouble, but to make sure Hoffman got out safely. Here's what nobody in that room knew. Ash was the one who arranged the whole meeting. He's not just some hired hand. Ash is something rare in this world, a world-class fixer who sits between powerful corporations and the people threatening to expose them, making sure both sides pay and both sides stay quiet. To keep control over both parties, Ash holds his own leverage, a copy of those same sensitive documents. If anyone breaks the agreement, he has everything he needs to destroy them. Nobody knows his face, nobody knows his name, and he operates out of a secret base where all his clients' most critical documents are stored, completely out of reach. Both sides pay him. That's how he profits, and that's how he survives. But this line of work comes with real enemies. Corrupt companies despise him, calling him a parasite, because in their eyes he's charging them money while simultaneously protecting the very people threatening to expose them. And yet, they always pay, because without Ash, everything falls apart. What makes him nearly impossible to catch is something most people would never expect. Not a single client has ever seen his face or heard his real voice. Ash works entirely through a relay service, a communication tool originally designed for people with hearing disabilities. The user types a message, an operator reads it out loud to the other person, and whatever they say in response gets typed back. No recordings exist, no data is stored, and no trace of the conversation remains anywhere. Every move Ash makes is calculated, every step controlled, and every rule he sets for himself exists for one reason: to make sure no one ever gets close enough to find him. Outside of work, Ash blends into ordinary life without any trouble. He joined a recovery group, a community of people working to leave addiction behind, where members share their struggles and support each other through the process. That's where he meets Wash, a police officer and former alcoholic who has been clean for 9 years. Wash is focused, disciplined, and committed to doing her job at the department the right way. Now, we shift to someone else entirely. A woman named Sarah walks into a law firm, looking for a lawyer who can help her with something urgent. Her situation sounds familiar because it mirrors Hoffman's almost exactly. Sarah was a biotech scientist who discovered something she was never supposed to find: hidden research data on genetically modified wheat, buried by the company before it could ever reach the public. Instead of addressing what she found, the company transferred her to another division and eventually fired her without any real explanation. But Sarah kept a copy of everything, and now she's being followed, watched, and terrorized by people the company sent to get it back. They even burned her car while it sat in a parking lot. She came to the law firm with one goal: a peaceful resolution. She had considered going public at first, but after everything she's been through, all she wants now is to get out safely. She needs someone in the middle, a neutral party who can guarantee that both sides walk away without anyone getting hurt. The lawyer listens to everything, then tells her it's too far outside what he can handle. But before she leaves, he gives her something: a phone number. That number belongs to Ash.
24 hours a day. Just call if you need anything.
Sarah calls it that same day, and this is where things get interesting. Using the personal details Sarah provided, Ash does what he always does first. He investigates. He checks everything about her background before making any decisions. That night, Ash reaches out through the relay service. The operator reads his questions out loud. Sarah answers, and her responses get typed back to him. Secure, one-directional, and completely untraceable. After hearing her full situation, Ash gives his first instruction: get a new phone immediately, because the current one is compromised and being monitored. She's only allowed to turn it on while she's in a public place, never at home. Meanwhile, the company's men track down the relay service office and show up looking for answers. They find absolutely nothing. No recordings, no data, no names on file. The next day, Ash calls again with his decision. He's taking the case, but it comes at a cost: $50,000, non-negotiable, refunded once the deal is successfully closed. And there's one rule above everything else: she follows every instruction he gives, without exception. Ash prepares the package himself: written instructions, a phone, and a brown envelope. He works with extreme care, leaving no fingerprints notes or evidence of any kind behind, then ships it directly to Sarah's apartment. Inside, the instructions are clear. Prepare $50,000 in cash along with the company documents, and place everything inside the brown envelope. While Sarah is still getting everything ready, the relay operator calls again with a new instruction. She needs to board a flight to another city first thing tomorrow morning. On that same flight, a Muslim passenger sits quietly among the crowd, drawing no attention from anyone around him. That passenger is Ash, working completely in disguise. After landing, Ash walks straight to the airport's lost and found desk and drops off an empty bag registered under Sarah's name. Sarah receives her instructions shortly after. When her name gets called over the airport speakers, she ignores it completely and stays seated. The whole setup is designed to expose whoever is following her, and it works exactly as planned. When the announcement goes out, certain people in the terminal react too quickly, too obviously. Ash watches from nearby and immediately identifies who the company sent to track her. At the same time, Sarah follows her next instruction and drops the package off at the airport post office, using the address Ash provided. But then she makes a careless mistake. She throws the delivery receipt straight into a trash can nearby. The company's men grab it immediately, check the address, and think they finally have the upper hand. They don't. Ash is still watching everything, and he adapts before they can take another step. Their focus gets split across multiple directions. Their coordination starts breaking down, and by the time they rush to the destination address to intercept the package, it's already gone. The address had been changed.
Can you tell me something? Will the new destination?
And Ash quietly retrieves the package himself, calm and completely unnoticed by anyone around him. The cash, the documents, both secured exactly as planned. Now it's time to contact the company directly and force the final deal. But before he makes that call, Ash plans something first. A phone placed carefully inside the van the company has been using to surveil Sarah. Still working through the relay operator, Ash delivers his message to the company loud and clear. He has the documents, all of them, and they're exactly the kind of material that could bring the entire company to its knees in front of the public. If the company refuses to cooperate, he releases everything straight to the media without hesitation. But that's not what anyone here actually wants. Ash lays out his position carefully. He's a middleman, hired by Sarah to arrange one thing, a peaceful deal between both sides. Sarah returns the document copies to the company. Both parties walk away, and after that, nobody touches anybody. If either side breaks that agreement, Ash acts immediately because he holds the key evidence that can destroy whoever steps out of line. The company is also his client now, which means they pay too, $500,000. And there's one final demand on the table. Stop following Sarah, stop tapping her calls, and end every form of harassment immediately.
Well, that's a lot of money. How do we trust your client's intentions? Go ahead.
Ash returns to his base and makes copies of the documents, then sends them directly to the company as proof that he genuinely has everything he claims to have. The next morning, the company prepares the money and ships the package to the address Ash provided. But they're not sending it clean. Hidden inside the package is a tracker with a battery life of 5 full days. They send Ash the tracking number, and when he checks it online, the package is already moving exactly as expected. Meanwhile, Sarah is finally free to live normally again, stepping outside without fear or the constant feeling of being watched. But Ash stays close anyway, observing her from a distance while remaining completely in disguise. Somewhere along the way, he notices something that catches him off guard. Sarah carries the same quiet loneliness that he does. That night, Ash breaks one of his own rules and calls her directly using a disposable phone. No relay operator involved, no layer of protection between his voice and hers. He's getting too close to this case, and somewhere deep down, he already knows it. The following day, Ash visits the shipping company where the $500,000 package was sent, arriving in disguise as always. While he's there, he quietly changes the delivery address to redirect the package and throw the company's men completely off course. 3 days before the scheduled meeting, his phone rings and the company's men are on the line. Their boss already received the document copy, but something is wrong. Only 311 pages arrived, when there should be 327. Ash goes straight back to his base to check, and they're right, pages are missing. He calls Sarah, and she admits she held held them back on purpose, claiming they weren't important enough to include. Ash is genuinely disappointed by his own rules and procedures. This mistake should end the contract right here. Sarah broke the instructions, and that's her problem to deal with alone. But the meeting is only 3 days away, and walking away now isn't really an option anymore. So Ash disguises himself as a security guard and goes to retrieve the missing pages himself, instructing Sarah to leave the envelope inside a newspaper kiosk placed under the lowest stack on the right side. What Ash doesn't realize yet is that the company's men never actually stopped following Sarah. They're already at the location, watching her from a distance as she drops off the envelope. When Ash reaches the kiosk and checks the lowest stack, the envelope isn't there. He calls Sarah immediately, and she admits she placed it on the left side instead of the right. A careless, avoidable mistake that just complicated everything. Ash now has to think fast, and on top of that, he's just spotted the company's men nearby watching the whole scene. So he pays a homeless man in the area to casually retrieve the newspaper stack without drawing any attention to himself. It works. Ash gets the documents, but not without a cost. The company's men manage to capture something on camera during the chaos, a partial silhouette of Ash, just enough to get them closer than they've ever been. Ash is furious, and for the first time, he seriously considers ending the contract and walking away from Sarah entirely. But he can't bring himself to leave her exposed like that, not when he's already this far in. That night at the recovery group, he opens up about the difficulties he's been facing lately, carefully speaking in indirect terms so nobody catches on to what his work actually involves. Wash, who holds a senior position at the police department, listens closely and feels the weight behind his words, and she offers her help whenever and if ever he needs it. Ash refocuses and gets back to work, locking in the time and location for the meeting between Sarah and the company. The day of the meeting finally arrives, and Ash takes a position in a cafe across the street, keeping his eyes fixed on the meeting point. But the scheduled time comes and goes, and nobody shows up on the other side. He calls Sarah, and what she tells him completely changes the situation. She moved the meeting to a different location without telling him, because the company's men contacted her directly and told her they already know who the middleman is. They tracked down Ash's face and claimed to have his personal identity. Sarah thought she was protecting him by changing the location, but Ash sees the reality of it immediately. This is not protection. This is a trap. He moves fast, heading straight to the new location, and triggers the building's alarm system on the way in to create enough chaos and confusion to split the company's men in every direction. In the middle of it all, he finds Sarah and pulls her out towards safety. On the way out, Sarah asks him why he's done all of this, why he's gone so far beyond what any contract would require. Ash tells her the truth about one thing. The name the company's men found and reported as his identity is wrong. They still don't know who he really is. He gives Sarah a new identity and a way to completely disappear, then watches her board a train and waits until he's certain she's gone. After that, he calls the company's men and tells them it's over. Sarah has left the city, the job is finished, and the contract between all parties is officially closed. He even thanks them for the $500,000. But it doesn't end there. A short while later, Ash calls Sarah's number just to check that she's alright, and someone else picks up. It's the company's men. Sarah has been captured, and they have one demand: return the original documents, or she gets hurt. Ash has no clear answer and no obvious way out. He tries calling Wash for help, but there's no response. It's still the middle of the night, well before sunrise. As morning breaks, Ash makes his decision and agrees to meet them. The moment he arrives, he's hit with a taser and taken captive alongside Sarah, bound and given no chance to negotiate. The company's men want one thing only: the location of his hidden base, where the original documents are kept. During the drive, the vehicle swerves unexpectedly, and Ash seizes the moment, fighting back hard enough that he's almost free until Sarah hits him from behind with a taser. And that's when everything unravels at once. Sarah was never a victim. She is their leader, the one who has been running this operation from the very beginning. Every mistake she made, the missing pages, the wrong side of the kiosk, the panicked phone calls, was completely intentional, all of it designed to push Ash into taking bigger risks and exposing more of himself. They work for McVie, the same CEO from the very opening of this story, and Sarah played the role of a helpless client with flawless precision. Ash let his guard down because he trusted her, and that trust is exactly what they were counting on. When they arrive at his base, Ash activates the emergency security system, creating enough chaos inside to break free from their grip. He comes face to face with Sarah, and instead of fighting, he stops completely and tells her to shoot him right there, right now. Sarah raises the weapon and holds it on him, but she doesn't pull the trigger. That moment of hesitation is all it takes. Wash arrives with a team of officers right behind her, moving in fast and taking everyone into custody. After everything settles, Ash collects the $500,000 from the company's earlier payment and sets aside a portion for the relay operator, a quiet thank you for everything they made possible. Later, on a train, Ash notices a passenger nearby who seems to be watching watching him. But it turns out the person is simply looking for someone else in the car entirely. Ash exhales for what feels like the first time in a long while. The company's crimes have been exposed and published for the public to see, and the truth is finally out in the open. For now, Ash is leaving the city behind, looking for something quieter and something safer, a new job, a new place, and a life where his mind can finally rest.